Hey everybody, today we're back in the garage working on something. We're going to be airbrushing a topwater popper bait for somebody. If you don't know already, we have an Etsy store. We'll link it in the description of this video. And recently we sold a bait that we kind of already sold. Got ourselves in a pickle. The customer, however, was very nice and patient in working with us. So this is the bait. You probably can't see it that well, but that's the bait that we sold. And we offered him another one, but he insisted on waiting for that. So thank you very much if you're watching this video. Starting off, we got some 60mm popper blanks from Backwater Outfitting. We're gonna take one of these out and we're gonna clean it. I like wiping them down with alcohol just to make sure they're really clean, get the paint to stick really good. Alright, I got my colors picked out that I believe I'm going to use. I might not use all of them, but I like to get them set out so I know which ones to pick from. I got the bait in the helping hands. Got my airbrush ready. I use an Iwata Eclipse airbrush. I'm going to start with some opaque black in the gun. Couple drops there. I'm not going to do a super thick coat. What's nice about this blank in particular is it already is dyed white. Usually they're kind of clear, so it's a little, you gotta paint like a base coat on there. Alright, spraying good. I'm shooting at about 20 psi because I don't mix my paint. Put a nice even black coat on it. Get them out. There we go. Okay. I'm going to use the rest of what's in the gun here. Alright, next we're going to come in. I'm going to throw on some, I'm going to lighten this black up just a little bit. I'm going to throw on some transparent leaf green. Okay, we're going to come in, we're going to lighten this up. I'm going to be throwing metallic green over this, and I don't want to have to layer the crap out of that metallic green to achieve the color that we're trying to end up with. Not super important to this coat, it's just we're trying to lighten that black up some. Okay, it's just about good. We're just about out of paint, so that's perfect. Make sure the belly gets it. Yeah, there we go. That's not so black anymore. I like it. Next, we're going to be going in pretty heavy with this pearl green. All these colors are by Createx. Okay, we got the pearl green loaded up. Let's see how it looks. Beautiful. Alright. That pearl sure pops. It is bright. I'm going to be covering up the belly with maybe a little pearl white at the end, but that's alright. I'm going to put it on there just because. Make sure that's all done. Put the paint on the gun runs out. And we're out. Alright, there's our pearl green. Boy, that is bright. Okay, before we get too much further into the finishing details, I'm going to take some red, add just a little bit into the gun here. Make sure we got all that green shot out of there. Okay, I'm going to turn the PSI down a little bit, about 15. Okay, and we're going to very carefully do the mouth red. A little bit a lot here, don't want to get carried away. Okay. Blow some air, straight air onto that, kind of get it to set. Quickly add just a little bit more red. Sorry, I don't have the best lighting in here for filming. Okay. That looks pretty good to me. Alright, next we're going to be coming in with this Createx Pearl Black. I absolutely love this color. It makes a really great color for just detail work. That it gives that sheen, gives a really nice pearly sheen to your product. Add a couple drops in there. I'm going to turn the pressure down to about 12. And to this guy, we're going to do black straight down the back. With the pearl, you got to work your way up to the depth that you're aiming for, because you can't see it that well until you roll it around in the light. And it is really easy to go overboard with some pearl. Do that. We're going to do just a little bit down the back, down the sides of the back. Okay. Alright, and then we're going to add some stripes. 3 stripes down the side. 1, 2, 3. Fatten them up just a little bit. Yeah, enough. Just a little bit of spatter out of my gun. Alright, that looks pretty good on that side. Let's match it on this side. Okay, we want those stripes to just kind of fade off into the belly. They don't look like much now, but once we put some clear coat on them, they are going to pop. So I'm going to work in just a little bit more here just to make sure I like it. I think I'm going to throw a tiny bit on the belly just to darken that up some. Okay, it's really easy to get carried away with this stuff, folks. Darken it top up a little bit more. There we go, darken the stripes up. Alright. I think I'm going to throw a little bit of this pearl white on the belly. So I got some loaded up here, and make sure it sprays well. Do that to where I can really see it better. There we go. Not much. Not much at all. So we want that. We want it to be primarily black. We don't want this to be a light colored bait anywhere. Just enough. You can see that. Oh yeah, look at that. That's nice. Okay. And I thought that I might do a little bit of highlighting details with this Createx Wicked Metallic Charcoal. This is a beautiful, beautiful color. And I'm not going to do much. I'm just going to throw some in mostly around the mouth. Can't even tell. And then a little bit down the back. Okay, and then a little bit down each side. You can't tell while it's going on the difference, but boy, once you get clear on it, you'll be able to see it. I'm going to throw a little bit around the eyeballs, because afterwards I'm going to go in with some opaque black, and I'm just going to make the eyeballs solid black. Ooh, that looks good. Looks really good. Okay. Alright. we have reached the end pretty much of this paint job. The last thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take some opaque black, turn the PSI down to, I don't know, I got about 12, 15 or 12, and I just want to darken the eyeballs. These baits here, they don't have an eyeball that you put in. They don't have an eye socket. They have a little eyeball right there, and they always look best when they're black. Okay, that side done. Flip it over. So you can really see that metallic charcoal on that eyeball. Okay. Our paint job here is done. We'll take it out in the sunlight. Y'all might be able to see it better. Okay. There you have it. You can see it a little bit better there. It's nothing fancy by any means. It's a nice, effective topwater popper. Kind of like a frog, I guess. Yep, alright. One thing that happens to every single one of my baits before it gets clear coated is it gets branded. I don't know if you can see that well. That is a water transfer, water slide decal. You know, like you used to use for model cars. Camera probably won't focus on that. But this bait is ready for clear coat. Okay. It is time for clear coat on our bait. And what I like to use is this right here. DevCon 2-ton epoxy. Everybody should know how epoxy works. You squirt it in equal parts and then mix it together and apply it. How I like to apply it, I mix it up and then I use a little paintbrush like this. I just got my bait clipped in a pair of vice grips there, and just a thin but equal, or even, just a thin but even layer all the way around it. Roll it around to the light and everything. Make sure you got everything. We're gonna do 2 coats of this. I always do 2 coats. About 24-hour drying time in between. Make for a very, very durable finish. On the mouth with poppers, you definitely want to, less is more. Less is more with the mouth. Because you don't want to make a pool of epoxy that will block your hook tie, your line tie. And you don't want to alter the way that it pops in the water. Too much epoxy can do that. Alright, it looks like we've got this coated. What we're going to do now is I'm going to stick it on my bait turner. This is a homemade deal of mine, like most stuff that I use. I'm going to take this, I'm going to clamp them right onto there, and I'm going to plug it in. We're going to let that spin overnight. Alright, we're going to let that epoxy set, and we're going to put a second coat on it, which you don't need to watch me do. And then we're going to go on to finishing. Now this bait does have a feathered treble hook. The Amazon fairies are supposed to deliver some feathers for me soon, so be back whenever that happens. Okay, we are back. Finally got the feather trebles that I needed to finish this customer's bait. I ordered the feathers to Taiwan myself. And yeah, they say that your shipment may have been lost. So without further ado, we got some 4.5 millimeter split rings. I already installed one on the line tie and one on the, I already installed a number 8 hook on the front of the bait. We're gonna finish this off with this feather treble, and I was gonna do chartreuse. Picture shows chartreuse, I'm sorry. But this was the closest thing I could get right now. There we go. Yeah, I've got big fat fingers, so this is definitely the most cumbersome part of the whole lure thing for me. There it is. Done. Time to package it up and send it. Okay, getting these packaged up. Left the customer a little note thanking them for their patience, and I threw in an extra lure for them as a token of our appreciation. Okay, all packaged up and ready to go. And of course we got to give the channel a shameless plug right there. Alright, all packaged up and ready to go. I'll ship these out via the post office tomorrow. Look us up on Etsy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, appreciate it if you leave a thumbs up and think about subscribing. So, it's been fun. Until next time, stay wild.